To say thank you very much for taking the time out of your night to join us here on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, Jillian. You've been performing and singing since you were, 2 years old, pretty much. You've been performing about the time you could talk. What got you into music?
I started singing, I think, when I came out of my mom. I've just always been singing. I don't know, music is just, because I'm into vocal coach and because music was so heavily in my house, it was kind of inevitable that I was going to do music, you know? So I don't think I really had a choice, exactly.
You began songwriting when you were just 8 years old, and you've been songwriting and singing ever since. What got you, I guess, more into songwriting and that sort of aspect of music?
Songwriting for me started out as just like a cool way to express myself, but then, going through what I was going through in middle school, as well as high school, it just kind of, at that point, became a emotional outlet, you know what I mean? Like a very positive way for me to be able to express my thoughts and my feelings instead of, on myself like I had been doing. And, it was just positive outlet at the time.
Going forward, then, what has been the biggest change in songwriting from you since the time you started to right now, the age of 20?
What has the change been in my songwriting?
Yeah, has there been major changes in just in things that you write about or the way you write?
Well, stylistically, it's funny. Stylistically, when I was 8 years old, I had this kind of rock, indie, almost modern day folk kind of feel. And then when I was 14, 15, 16, I thought I was cool, and I started experimenting with hip hop and stuff. But now it's interesting to see that I have gone back to my 8-year-old roots, and I'm now starting to do the same, kind of more or less the same style that I did when I was younger. So I think it's interesting how I kind of changed my life a little bit, but then got right back to my roots,
What is, I guess, describe your writing style now, and what sort of things do you write to a beat, or do you just write down lyrics first and then find a beat that sort of fits to it?
Well, I don't write to other people. Well, I have written to other people's music or beats, but I play 7 different instruments. So when I'm writing, it's more or less I'm chilling with my guitar, chilling with the piano or ukulele or whatever, and I just feel something, it just kind of happens. I not ever really forced. Like the other night, I was at the piano and I was just really inspired by my Jillian family, and I wrote a really cool song dedicated and about them, which I'm really excited to record. But it just kind of happens. It's never a set way or formula. It just happens.
You just mentioned that you play multiple instruments. Can you just talk about what instruments you play and sort of when you began playing them?
I started playing piano by ear when I was 5, and then I just kind of from there I got really into it, and I started taking lessons just to get better at it for a couple of years, and from there I stopped because I just preferred doing it myself. But I took violin and saxophone for about 6 years, and then I started playing acoustic guitar about 3.5, maybe even 4 years ago now. Just rhythm guitar, nothing fancy, just accompaniment. And then I got into bass from there, and then drums, and then the ukulele came in. So it's just kind of been a mashup of all different things, just because I'm one of those people, if I'm going to learn something, I'm going to learn all the aspects of it, every in and out. Which is the way I am. I don't know. If I love something enough, I'm going to learn everything I can about it.
Can you also talk briefly a bit about your 2 albums?
Yeah. I released my first album, like I said, when I was 14, and it was music that I had written from when I was 8 to 13. kind of like folk-esque. And I actually dig it more now than I think I did earlier in life. Just because it is kind of more the style that I like. And then when I was 15, I released 15 or 16, I can't remember. I released another album, which was very, very experimental, like all over the place. It was hip hop. I was rapping about history. Like, I refuse to give that album out to anyone. But there were actually some good songs on it. There were some cool rock tunes that I wrote on it that I definitely want to re-record because they were really, I personally think they were really awesome. But yeah, you know, I was 15. I was thinking I was cool with my hip hop. I call myself the real Slim Jilly, you know. So yeah, I'm actually a much better rapper now than I was then. So if I were to release a new rap song, it'd probably be killing. But back then, it was horrible. But at least I can recognize that.
Well, you know what? Even if you think it's horrible, you've had a really interesting career. You've cited that Jessie J, Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, Alanis Morissette, James Taylor as your biggest influences. Which of those musicians has had the biggest influence on you in your career?
I think there's three. There's three, and you know, there were three people that I listened to growing up that kind of shaped my sound and shaped my style. And no one ever expects these, but I'm going to say them anyway. James Taylor, you named one of them. James Taylor, Johnny Cash, and Alanis Morissette. And I think, you know, when people listen to my music, and then I let them know who my inspirations were, it kind of makes sense. You know, I have that lightness, that light, like, easygoing feeling that James Taylor brings, but then kind of the attitude, rocker indie edge of Alanis, and, you know, then almost like country blues kind of feel of Johnny Cash. It all just kind of mixes together. But, yeah, I listened to them growing up, and they shaped what I liked to listen to. They shaped how I maybe phrased some of my words, how I sang, and yeah, they were huge influences on my music path.
Now you've performed for Obama and Donald Trump and some other pretty respectable people out there. Which performance were you more nervous for, Obama or Donald Trump?
You did your research. I like this. Performing, oh god. Okay, well, the performance for Obama. Hold on, the dog slicked me in the face. The performance for Obama, like opening for Obama, that was really awesome because, I mean, as awesome as Obama is, really we were opening for James Taylor, and like I just said, James Taylor was one of my inspirations. So for me, it was one of those things like, oh my gosh, yes, opening for Obama and James Taylor, but it was really about James Taylor for me mentally. But then Donald, what happened was the wedding events band that I perform in, you know, as my job, my weekly job. I got to go down to Florida, go down to Mar-a-Lago, which is Donald Trump's house, and perform for a fundraiser that he puts on every year. And he is a super, super, super sweet guy. But I mean, just the fact that James Taylor was at the Obama event kind of just, you know, ups that up like 20,000,000%. That's James Taylor. But you know.
Fair enough. Now, Jillian, talk to us a bit about your X-Factor experience, and what was the biggest thing you learned during the entire process of the show?
You know what I learned the most during X-Factor was just having confidence in yourself. You know, because everything I've been through, I've always been kind of a little bit more timid. I mean, music, I was always very, very comfortable with, you know what I mean? But I wasn't ever confident to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm good. But then when you have Simon Cowell crying in front of you because of what you're doing, that definitely gives you a boost in confidence. Definitely helped me with that. Unfortunately, I wish I would have been able to show America a little bit more of myself as a musician. Just like, Emblem 3, they can play some killing instruments. They're fabulous musicians. I had the pleasure of doing some jam session nights during boot camp with Drew and Keaton, and they're unbelievable, and I wish that they were able to showcase them more. I wish I was able to showcase them more. But in any reality TV or any show, you just got to do what you're told and utilize what you have and make it into your own, and that's what I tried my hardest to do, is just bring myself into whatever music I was given, to do me. And that's what I learned, you got to comply, but you also got to be original.
What was it like for you to sing in front of Britney Spears, L.A. Reid, and Demi Lovato?
It was insane. Absolutely insane. But I don't think there's any other word. It was insane. Yeah.
During your audition on X Factor, you gave a pretty emotional story, and I think it really brought the issue to light for so many people out there. And you talked a lot about your story as being bullied. And you were bullied in the 7th grade. I read this, that you were bullied in the 7th grade because you turned a kid in who offered you cocaine.
Yeah.
Now,
well, that was my first experience with bullying. Like, what happened was, the kid offered me cocaine, and I did the right thing. And as I've said in all my school talks, I've been going into schools now, and I'm kind of more focused on that, because really, I don't want to be. Everyone keeps saying, like, on Twitter, that, the haters, they're like, oh, she thinks she's famous, and I'm just like, honestly, I could care less if I was famous. Like, I'm more focused right now on just going into schools and, like, doing exactly what I love, but helping people. I've always been big into philanthropy. I can't say the word, but philanthropy. So what I mean? Volunteerism, helping others. That's the definition. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. But yeah, so right now I'm focusing on going into schools, and what I've been telling them is, in a lot of situations, when you're making the right decision, you're gonna be standing alone. So that was the predicament that I was in. I made the right choice, and at that point, I was standing alone. I got a lot of crap for it, and it got me to the point where I ended up leaving the school, and they continued to cyberbully me in 8th grade. And from there, I started, changing myself. Come freshman year of high school, because I just wanted to fit in so desperately that then I started getting made fun of for that. So it was I could never win, and music was always that outlet for me. It was always something that resonated with me in such a way that it just made sense. So there was a point where I just completely isolated myself from the world and just did music. But then, I got crap for that. I could never win. Like, let's be honest, I could never win. And it for lack of a better word, it sucked. But, I believe with all my heart that if you really care about something, you will overcome any obstacle to make that dream a reality. And music is my dream. Being able to share what I love in my lyrics with people, that's all I want to do for the rest of my life. So.
Well, you seem to have you've overcome quite a lot. I wanted to touch on a couple of things about your experience with bullying, and was it just strictly verbal, or did it ever become a physical abuse too?
Well, I mean, there were physical, like, silly things. Like, I remember freshman year, rather. This is something so silly and so minuscule, but, like, when you're going through everything, it's a lot, too. You know what I mean? Like, in the physical terms, I have this suede purse. And I know you're a guy, but suede, if it gets wet, it's ruined.
Yep.
So, I had a suede purse, and I left it outside in my locker for literally 2 seconds. The bathroom was across from my locker. I walked in, got a tissue, came back out. My purse was in the water fountain, drenched. My phone, everything was in it, ruined. You know, like, just like stupid things like that happened. But it was mainly cyberbullying. You know, kids tortured me. And also in school, you know, freshman year was kind of a turnaround point for me. I felt like I was finally getting to fit in. I had the lead in the musical. I was doing choir, and things seemed awesome. But the next year, sophomore year, a bunch of people who were seniors that were juniors the previous year were like, listen, if Joe gets the lead in the musical this year, we're not going to be a part of it. So I was approached by the senior head of the theater department and told that they weren't going to give me a lead because of that. And from there, I was like, you know, something, this is ridiculous. The people that should be accepting me, the people that should be, like expressing enjoyment in my love for what I do, are the people that are trying to tear that away from me. So I stopped. I quit everything musical in my school, and then cyberbullying just, you know, really took over from there, because people were like, oh, you think you're too good for school stuff, you think you're too good of a singer to be a part of our music stuff. And it's like, when I said I couldn't win, like, I really, regardless of what I did, I was getting crap for it. And they started this page, like a couple of Facebook pages, like hate Facebook pages online about me, like, no, Jill Jensen, we will not go to any of your concerts. And then they had this Facebook page that they had a bunch of people from the school join with a picture of a rubber duck, and they were like, that this rubber ducky can get more likes than Jill Jensen. Like, it was just ridiculous stuff. But as far as physical abuse went, it was just stupid things, like hiding my backpack on me, like stupid stuff like that. So it was definitely more of the cyber aspect that I dealt with, you know.
Was there anybody you could go to talk to about what you were going through, or was it really just something you just kept to yourself?
Well, it's funny because I talked to my guidance counselor, who was a godsend for me. Like, literally, my school guidance counselor, he saved my life, and I mean that wholeheartedly. He knew things that, honestly, my mom didn't know until Thanksgiving this year. Like, and I mean that literally, like, I just told my mom everything on Thanksgiving, and I hadn't talked, you know, my guidance counselor, she was the only one that knew, you know, of everything that was going on. And it sucks, but I thank God for him every single day. I'm not even really religious, but I still, you know, thank God for him.
Jillian, did it ever get to a point, you mentioned that, you know, you mentioned in the X-Factor, and I read online that you got to a point where, you know, you started, you know, harming yourself physically. Did it ever get to a point where, you know, you thought suicide would be a way out?
Oh, I tried that 3 or 4 times. So yes, yeah. Yeah, I didn't want part anymore. I didn't want the deal anymore. And one of the nights that I did attempt, I wrote a song that, you know, I think really just makes the most sense with the situation. It's called From the Outside. It's not recorded yet, but I really hope to do that soon. And it basically is saying, like, you know, I think the people who are having suicidal thoughts, the people who are dealing with bullying the most, are the people that you would never expect. You know, the people who walk around with the biggest smile and walk around with the biggest facade they can ever wear. And it's crazy to think that there's kids that are gone now because no one knew, you know? No one knew how serious it was. And yeah, I did. I tried 3 or 4 times, maybe 5, I don't really remember, but I couldn't handle it, but music literally saved my life. And I mean that. I think when you have a greater purpose, I don't know if if I necessarily even had that I believed something, said you have a purpose, and kept me alive. I think that was because of music.
Jillian, what you mentioned music. What was the turning point where you sort of realized that you could overcome what you were going through?
I think for me, my turning point was honestly X-Factor. My audition meant more to me than anyone will ever know. I was still dealing with all this stuff even a year ago. My mom always told me, I've auditioned for shows, God, for 17 different times, for The Voice, for American Idol, for America's Got Talent, and I've always been shut down. I've always been told, even by those people, those producers, oh, you're great, but you're too different. And that was just a constant punch to the gut, especially with everything that was going on with me personally. And I was never one to talk about what I was going through personally. My mom was like, listen, you need to speak up for yourself. You need to just tell them what you've been through. And it was too raw for me. It was too close to the time that I was going through it. And auditioning for X-Factor, that was my turning point. That was my moment of realization that this was for real. This was something that could keep me here. So as much as it sucked being eliminated, I don't regret my time on the show, that's for sure.
What did it mean to you after, and I watched your performance on X Factor, what did it mean for you right after that performance and it was aired? What was that like for you to get the response from the thousands of people who have been bullied and just look up to you as an inspiration? What was that like? And I saw the reaction on Twitter. So what did that feel like for you to know that you really aren't alone?
It was like the weirdest bittersweet feeling. It felt unbelievable to know that I wasn't alone, but it made me incredibly sad to know how many people are going through what I went through, because I think that's so depressing that it's that bad, so that's why it kind of it geared me even more to just want to get into schools. I was going to be going into schools as of the fall, and then the show started, and I couldn't start doing that. So, there's some people that say I utilized it to get on the show for them, but I was actually going to be going into schools anyway, even before any of this happened. And, that audition and watching it back on television just made me realize that that's what I should be doing with my life. I've been motivational speaking in regards to the program that I have, The Magic of Music, since I was 15. And knowing that just me going into schools and talking about what I've been through, and that can help other people, I know that's what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. That is what I'm supposed to do. And I intend to do that. I intend to be there for those kids, because noticing how many that there are, I want it to end even more,
Jillian, what was the hardest part about being bullied in general?
I think the hardest part was having to deal with the fact that, they were trying to take away the one thing that I needed more than oxygen, I didn't understand how people could just hate for no reason, I didn't get it. And that was definitely the hardest part, trying to do music, but that being the one thing that they were trying to rip away from me,
Now, sorry, Jillian, what would you say to somebody who's currently going through what you went through and being bullied, whether it's physically, cyberbullying, verbally? What would you say to them?
Well, I tell probably learned when I was in therapy, but I believe with all my heart that success will be your greatest revenge. I say that all the time. It's on my Facebook. It's part of my mission. And I believe that if you have something that you love more than life itself and you know you want to do for the rest of your life, you need to do it. You need to use it as your way out in that situation. Utilize it as the light to your darkness and just let it guide you, you know. And it does get hard. I'm not going to BS anyone and say it doesn't get hard, because it does. But you have to remember, I can't believe I am quoting Batman right now, but I am so about to do this. It is always darkest before the dawn. That sounds so cheesy coming out of my mouth, but it's true. You know, you just gotta find that one thing, utilize it, and just let it guide you out, and know that it's gonna get worse before it gets better, but it will get better.
Jillian, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit because obviously I don't want to have the whole interview about bullying and stuff. I know you're recently actually in Canada, and we're, of course, based here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So talk to us a little bit about your trip to Canada. I got to see the picture of you wearing the Canadian hat and the Canadian mitts, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I went to Canada. It was awesome. I got to go to St. Benny's. Yeah. Shout out to everyone over there. I miss them so much. Oh my goodness, I BDM them all the time. But anyway, sorry, off topic, on topic. I got to go there and talk to the 9th and 10th graders, and it was the most unbelievable experience. You know, we were all crying together. There were a couple kids, because I did a meet and greet after, but there were a couple kids that I spoke to individually. I had the opportunity to speak with more, you know, in depth and talk to them about their story and to really give them a little bit more personal advice. And, like, when I tell you, I can't believe how many beautiful, warm-hearted kids are going through what I've been through. It makes me sick to my stomach. But I feel so extremely blessed that I can be there for them. You know, and being in Canada, being able to spend time with all those kids. I mean, I was there for like 3 days, and literally when I tell you I was bawling my eyes out when I had to leave, like I was, because I gained such a relationship with them. And, you know, anyone that I've gotten to experience thus far, that people always say, oh, we're your fans, but they don't understand. To me, they are literally family. Like, they are the reason I'm doing exactly what I'm doing. They are my family. And I do have such an emotional attachment to everyone that I've met thus far. And leaving Canada was definitely the hardest thing ever. I cannot wait to get back out there, because I miss all of them so much. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. Definitely an eye-opener. It was my first school, you know, my first school talk, and I can't believe the response. You know, it was unbelievable.
Do you have plans on, is there any sort of immediate or set in stone plans for you to come back to Canada?
I am working on it. I'm working on, I don't want to give away anything yet, but I am working on it.
Are you allowed to tell us, can you say maybe a little bit geographically where, like Ontario, Toronto, BC, Quebec?
It would be Ontario.
Ooh, sweet.
But it wouldn't be like a school thing as of right now. I'm working on doing a show out there. But it's a long story, because I'm working on a lot of different countries right now. Mm-hmm. South America, Europe. I'm definitely going to Europe actually in March. But Canada was one of the stops that I'm making, so it may be a multi-city thing. But I just don't want to give away too much information, you know.
That's fair. That's fair enough. All I want to say is, if you ever come to Toronto, you are more than welcome to come hang out on Radio Nation with me and the rest of you.
I would love to.
We'd love to have you here in studio, and it'd be pretty cool just to hang out and chat and take some questions from some of your very, very loyal fans.
Yes, they're honestly, seriously, like my family, my billionaire family, is literally the best family, like, ever. They're so awesome. I love them so much, and yeah, no, absolutely. I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Now, I know there's a lot of Americans listening right now who are probably itching to figure out where you're going to be going next in the United States. So do you maybe want to... You're able to share that?
Where am I going next in the United States?
That's
the question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tomorrow I will be at Q102's Jingle Ball in Pennsylvania. No, I'm not performing. Everyone keeps asking. Well, okay, that's a lie. Okay, I'm not performing on the stage. I'm performing after the show. I'm doing, which is kind of crazy, but it's weird. So I'm going to be on the concourse with Reality Dance. Reality Dance brought me out here, and I will be with them at their booth on the concourse doing meet and greet before and after. But after, I did bring my guitar. We do have an amplify set up, so I am going to sing a song or two after the show lets out. But during the show, I'll be back, backstage. So, but yeah, and then I'll be back home Thursday for Boston's Jingle Ball, and then what am I doing next? Oh yeah, and then I'll be back in Boston at Hard Rock Cafe with James Massoni from The Voice. We're doing a fundraiser to raise money for Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation. That's super awesome. I'm excited about that. And yeah, just a lot of cool stuff coming up. And I mean, the end of December is my mini East Coast tour thing. I'm doing Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, and Boston. So that'll be awesome. And yeah, it's just going to be a great time. I'm excited. I'm excited for everything that's to come. I'm excited to head to Europe in March. And it's going to be great. I'm so excited to be able to just share my love of music, but also share a positive message with people literally all over the world, which is kind of crazy to even say, but yeah.
If you're just tuning into Radio Nation right now, you're listening to Jillian Jensen live here on the show. It is your host, Nicholas Pescod. I'll be taking some Twitter questions momentarily, and I know there's a lot of them out there, and a lot of them to do with bullying, as it's been a hot topic the last couple of months. And I think, Jillian, that's largely in part to, I think, at least in my opinion, to what you did on X-Factor and your audition. I think you've really raised the issue. There's also I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Amanda Todd story, but there also was that back in October, and I think your audition on X Factor really almost heightened it even more. That this is obviously a serious issue. But let's get a little more. Let's gonna ask you a little more fun questions before we take some questions off of Twitter. And I wanted to know. This is from me personally. You were the back singer for Nicole Scherzinger on Regis and Kelly in 2011. What did you get to meet Regis and Kelly?
Yes. Okay. So what happened was it's a funny story. I got a phone call from a friend of mine who does a lot of touring. He played bass for Jessie J on her European tour. That's actually how we met. We did a concert, Kiss 108 concert, last year together. And we just met, whatever, cool, made good friends. And he was playing bass for Nicole on Regis. Now, he didn't know anything about the situation because he plays for big people all the time. And he'd contact me. He's like, hey, we need an extra backup singer. Are you available? Blah, blah. He's like, it's this up-and-coming artist, Nicole something or other. And he sent me the song. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's cool. Up-and-coming artist. Whatever. That's cool. I'm an up-and-coming artist. So, sweet. And so he sends me the music, and I'm listening. I'm like, this voice sounds familiar. This song sounds familiar. I look up Don't Hold Your Breath by Nicole. It's flipping Nicole Scherzinger. I was like, holy crap. I called my friend. I was like, dude, this is not an up-and-coming artist. This is the head of the Pussycat Dolls. What are you talking about? So that was like the craziest thing. And then, I got there, and I got to hang with Nicole in rehearsal for like 6 hours the night before, and she's so cool. She had just gotten in from Hawaii, so she was like super jet lagged and really sick actually, which sucked. She was really sick. But then the next day, I got to go meet Regis, give him a little hug. Anne Hathaway was there too. That was cool. And I sang backup for Nicole Scherzinger on national television, which was pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of jealous that you got to meet Regis and Kelly. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, it was cool because that was like the end of Regis's, Regis thing. I was there for one of his last shows Now it's just, what is it, something with Kelly or something? I don't know.
It's with it's Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
All right, going to take some questions off of Twitter very, very shortly, but I got another question for you, and that is, describe them. Is there a really standout childhood memory that you have that you just constantly remember when you're going through tough times?
Like what? I guess I don't understand the question. I'm sorry.
Do you have is there a standout childhood memory from your childhood, I guess, that you really remember that brings back good memories?
I don't think so. I mean, I always remember music, you know. I think even though I was really young, when I was 2.5, my first experience on stage is something that stands out to me. You know, I was 2.5, 1995. I was on stage for the Little Miss Talent New England pageant, on stage dancing around singing Santa Claus Comes Down.
All right, Jillian, can you still hear us?
Hello?
Hey, can you still hear us?
Sorry, I think I put you on hold somehow. My face put you on hold.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but yeah, so I was on stage singing Santa Claus Coming to Town, and that was my first on-stage thing at 2.5 years old, and I won, so it was cool. So I guess, yeah, that's kind of a fun little memory for me.
All right, Jillian, I'm going to take some questions off of Twitter, and we like to do this thing on the show where we ask a bunch of just really kind of fun and random quirky questions. So while I'm just sort of waiting for the last couple of questions to come in off of Twitter, and if you're listening and you want to tweet us, you can tweet at @radio_nation, and I'll answer the most appropriate questions. Please, nothing inappropriate. I'm not asking who she's going to be dating or what she's doing with her dating life or anything to do with that. That's none of our business here on the show.
Also, if you'd like to tweet to Nick Jonas and let him know I am still single, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'll try to tweet that for you too, Jillian.
What?
I'll try to tweet that for you to him.
Awesome, you're the best.
All right, this comes from Gabby, and she asks, who is your main inspiration?
That's a hard one. I have a lot of inspirations. I think right now, definitely. I mean, not right now. No, that's a hard question. I have too many. I'm sorry. I really can't answer that question.
Fair enough.
That's a really hard question. Because I don't have one inspiration. I look up to a lot of people. Obviously, I look up to Demi. That's obvious. But I also look up to a lot of different people. So I can't just say one, I guess. I don't know. That's hard.
Jillian, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Fair enough. Are you with? What's your favorite season?
My favorite season is fall because it's not too hot and it's just right. And I love the colors of autumn. Yeah, I do. I like wearing cute little sweaters and looking attractive and then
Fair enough. You're in Philadelphia right now. This comes from multiple people on Twitter. What do you like about Philly?
Philadelphia? What do I like about Philadelphia? Well, I love my friend Dahlia's little brother, Dimitri. I'm totally shouting him out because he's right here. And he's 10 years old and we've been discussing SpongeBob, all night. So he's probably my favorite aspect of Philly.
Jillian, do you have a favorite month of the year?
My favorite month of the year is September because it's my birthday.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, my favorite month. Well, actually, some things since my favorite season is fall, September would make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not even gonna back out of that one. I'm gonna say September. I'm gonna stick to that.
I said no dating questions, but this one is from, I forget who it is, but it goes like this. What's your favorite thing about Nick Jonas?
Well, Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas, well, if you're listening, Nick, he has, you want to know what it is? I think musically we are so, similar, his tone is got that almost like rock blues type of thing, and that's kind of what I do. So my favorite thing about Nick Jonas is his amazing voice and his songwriting. I mean, his appearance speaks for itself. So, yeah, Nick Jonas. Sorry.
It's okay. Now, you're also a pretty big One Direction fan too, right?
Say that one more time?
I said you're also a pretty big One Direction fan from what I understand.
Yes, I love One Direction.
No, who's your favorite boy in the band?
It's either Harry or Zayn.
Is there
I usually say Harry because Harry's the single one, but what I hear is that he may be with T Swizzle, which, you know, I do not approve. I do not approve of Haylor.
And why do you say that?
Because I don't approve. She gets all the hot guys. I do not approve.
And then she'll make a song if she needs them.
Yeah.
Okay, another question is, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is actually Dragonheart, which probably no one even knows, but
What
an
was
old movie. Sean Connery plays the voice of the dragon, set in medieval times. I like that kind of movie.
my co-host here, Jess? She knows the movie. She says it's an amazing movie.
You've seen it?
I haven't, but my co-host in studio, Jess, she's seen it and she says it's an amazing movie.
It's a great movie. I'm glad someone else knows it. 'Cause whenever I say Dragonheart, they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Uh-huh. I like odd things.
What is your? This comes from off of Twitter, and this is what is your favorite thing about Canada?
My favorite thing about Canada, here's the thing, I think my favorite thing is the, as much as you guys hate it, it's so true. You definitely say a lot.
I know, eh?
And, like, literally, I love it. Like, you guys say, oh, you know, eh?
Yeah, I know, eh?
Like it's probably the best thing ever. Like, your accents are fabulous. I love them. I do. I love them.
What is your favorite?
And the people that picked me up were like, oh, we don't have accents. I was like, yes, you do. Like, you definitely do. It's great, though. I absolutely love them.
Do I have an accent right now?
Not right now.
Maybe
Oddly
later.
enough.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm very boring. I like chocolate ice cream, yeah.
This comes up, and the last one was just off of Twitter as well, and this one's from Kristen Price off of Twitter, and it goes like this: if you could meet one person dead or alive, who would it be?
Well, I've already met Nick Jonas. I'm just kidding. No, seriously though, I'd probably want to meet Johnny Cash, because, you know, he's unbelievable. I really do. I love Johnny Cash so much. So.
If you could perform with one artist or band, who would it be?
Nope, I refuse. I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
Okay.
Because I could name so many people right now. And then I would be so pissed because I would say someone, and then 5 minutes later I'd be like, no, wait, what about... Yeah, no, I can't do that. Nope. Plead the fifth. Out.
Fair enough. Very fair enough. Now, you've talked a little bit, and this comes up of Twitter as well. Now, you've talked about going to Europe and coming to Canada and going to the United States. Do you have any plans to go to South America, like Brazil or anywhere?
I do. I can't talk about it yet, but I do. I have a meeting on Friday, and I'm excited.
This comes from Betsy off of Twitter, and this is, what is your favorite candy?
My favorite candy? Nerds. I love nerds. They're so great. I do. I love nerds. I think it's because I'm a nerd. I love nerds.
They're pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
They're great.
If you could hop on a plane and go to any country right now, where would you go? And that comes from Lee off of Twitter, and her Twitter handle is @TeamJillian NZ.
Where would I go? probably go. Okay, I've always wanted to go to Italy or Germany. So, I mean, I want to go to a lot of places, but I think just because that's been like something I've wanted to do for so long, I'm gonna have to say that. Either Italy or Germany.
Jillian, what's your background? What's your heritage?
I am 50% Portuguese and then 50% Mutt, because my dad is like 12 different things, or 11 different things.
Very cool.
So I just say Portuguese for sake of the argument, you know.
Now, I'm getting some questions off of Twitter, and I've done my research on you, but I obviously don't know everything about you. Are you a pretty big SpongeBob fan?
I love SpongeBob. My room is like all SpongeBob because my Jillionator family sends me stuff in the mail all the time that's SpongeBob related, and literally it brings the biggest smile to my face. Yes, I myself have bought I have a SpongeBob onesie and some, footy pajamas. Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed. I have multiple SpongeBob snapbacks and a SpongeBob beanie. That it's SpongeBob on one side and on the other side Patrick. My Jillionator family has bought me slippers, skiing hats, cups, an ottoman from Mean Stinks, which is the thing that the organization that Demi works with for anti-bullying. I've gotten blankets. I love SpongeBob, and I love the stuff I get in the mail, and yeah, I do. I'm pretty obsessed, actually. He's my husband. No big deal.
This comes from Bria in Louisiana, and she asked this: would you ever write or sing songs with a fan?
Yeah, I definitely would. Actually, one of my fan members wrote a song about my program because I have, my campaign Stop Hate, Start Love, which just promotes positive messages versus even bringing negative into a situation. Like I always say, you should be rejoicing in just appreciating someone for their talents, not exploiting them for their weaknesses or flaws. So one of my Jillionator family members wrote a song called Stop Hate, Start Love, and it's freaking good. Like, it is really good. And I talked to her about, singing it. Like, her being the songwriter, giving her full songwriting rights, and me singing it because it's really good. So yes, I would say yes to that question.
This comes from it's somebody on Twitter, and it goes it's a pretty interesting question. I've never gotten this one before. What fictional character do you wish was real, and why?
What? A fictional character? Do I what?
What fiction? Is there a fictional character that you wish was real?
SpongeBob.
Fair enough.
SpongeBob and Patrick. Forget Squidward, he's miserable. SpongeBob and Patrick.
Fair enough. What is your favorite Jonas Brothers song?
Okay. This sounds so ridiculously cheesy. No, okay. It's either Love Bug, because I love Love Bug. I think it's absolutely adorable. And like how it starts really like calm and slow and, well, not slow, but just calm and kind of light. And then it just comes in with the whole rock band thing. Yeah, in your face. But whenever, because I did go see the Jonas Brothers live maybe 4 years ago, and they did their show in New York, and whenever I hear, oh my god, I just had a brain melt. Oh my god, what's the song? The one that Nick usually sings. Your heart is always searching. What the heck? Why can't I think of the name of the song? Daddy, what's the name of the song? If your heart is always searching, when you're outside of home, you look for that someone.
We're getting a free performance here.
Oh my god, why can't I think of the freaking song? Do you know it?
I don't, but we get a free performance because we just sort of heard you sing.
It's Nick. Nick sings it. When you look me in the eyes. Okay, literally whenever I hear that song, I cry. So yeah. Oh, and don't take that singing seriously. That was me being silly.
Well, that was about a million times better than me. Trust me, you do not want to hear me sing karaoke.
No, because I'm one of those people, like, unless I'm behind a microphone, I will never sing seriously. Like, people were watching my Just Dance video, like, me and my friend Casey, like, doing Just Dance, and I'm over there, like, just being a goofball, like, that's what makes it beautiful. Like, just being absolutely ridiculous, and people were like, you're on the X-Factor and you suck. I'm like, I never sing seriously unless I'm singing. You know what I mean? So just, yeah, I just don't ever take me seriously. If you want to hear me sing, watch a singing video, and you'll know. Or see me live.
There you go. Now, a couple more questions I'm going to take here on off of Twitter. One is comes from Shelby, and it goes, where's your favorite place to visit?
My favorite place to visit is probably Florida. I go to Florida a lot, actually, especially with the wedding band that I sing in. During the winter, I'm there almost every weekend singing at weddings. But I also travel there a lot because I have fam out there. So I love Florida.
Jillian, how do people get involved in your Stop Hate campaign?
Well, as of right now, you know, it's just more of a message. It's not like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like an organization that you can, like, be a part of, I guess. It's just more about spreading the message. Stop Hate, I love this, about spreading a positive message. You know, I think people get so caught up in negative in life, and as a result, they're miserable people because of it. Because, you know, when you're speaking negative, when you're thinking negative, it's bringing a negative aura around you. So, you know, just spreading the message, Stop Hate, I love, instead of saying something that you don't like about someone, say something that you do like about someone. If you don't like something, why are you bothering mentioning it? Why is it even coming out of your mouth? You know what I mean? That's just the kind of the gist of it. It's not like a big organization that people can sign up to be a part of or anything. It's just, you know, spread the awareness, trend Stop Hate, stop hate, start love, and just, you know, get it out there, get other people in on the love, on positivity. You know, I think that's the most important thing.
Taking two more questions off of Twitter because I don't have a lot of time right now. We got to get to the Boyle brothers as well. Another former set of X-Factor contestants as well. We'll be interviewing them very.
I love the Boyle brothers. Tell them I miss them, please.
I will. So the last question, I'm taking two more. Apparently you have a meet and greet tomorrow, and some people don't know where that is and what time. Do you want to give a little bit of details on that?
Okay, so I think there's a meet and greet at 4. 1 second, I'm finding out for you right now. Okay, it'll be happening between 4 and 5. So basically, as the doors are opening at the Wells Fargo Center in Pennsylvania, in Philly, as the doors are opening, I'll be there. You know, it's just a meet and greet from door opening time at the Wells Fargo Center to the start of the show. Then the start of the show, everyone's inside. Sorry, I just hiccuped. Everyone's inside, and I'll be backstage, and then I'll come back out afterwards. Like as the last song is on, as Jay Beebs is on stage, I'll come back out, and I'll be meeting everyone at the end too. So it's not like this big planned out thing. It's just a very open. I love intimate settings. I love just being homey with people. You know, like, very much involved with people. So just come say hi. I'll be on the concourse. I'll be right next to, you know the store, Garbage Clothing? They'll be right next door to me. So if you find Garbage Clothing, you find Reality Dance, I'll be at Reality Dance. So find me there.
All right, Jillian. I just want to say thank you very much for coming on Radio Nation. Before I let you go, though, there's a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of people on Twitter right now that just want to say thank you to yourself for just everything that you've done as an artist and being the inspiration they are. So there's a lot of people, and I couldn't ask this question individually from each person, but there's quite a few of them out there. There's also people that want to know your mailing address for fan mail. So if you don't mind tweeting that, or you can say it on air.
Yeah, my fan mail is P.O. Box 30082, Acushnet, Massachusetts, 02743, and I'll tweet that as well.
Perfect. All right, Jillian. That's all the questions that we're going to run out of time here really shortly. But I just want to say thank you very, very much for coming on the show, and thanks a lot for listening too. I know you listened in the other week, and it's been a real pleasure to have you on. And thank you for sharing your experiences of being bullied. I went through it a little bit myself when I first moved to Ontario, and it wasn't nearly anything what you went through. But you are an inspiration to a lot of listeners out there and a lot of fans. So keep up the good work, Jillian.
Thank you so much. And I just want to ask you a question. Is this clip going to be available, like, if the interview's still going to be online? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how, like, people save?
It is. It'll be on YouTube.
Okay, cool beans. All right, well, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone out there. I love you guys. You're rock.
Perfect.
Can I sign off the right way?
Sure, go for it.
All right. Peace, love, happiness, love. All right, I'm out.
All right, take care, Jillian.